We all got, you talk about having daddy issues and mommy issues, you know. We all got daddy issues, and we've all got mommy issues. Some daddies didn't do what they were supposed to do, or thought they were doing right, or just things didn't happen. Some mamas didn't do what they were supposed to do, and things didn't happen, or things didn't right, or they only knew what they knew to do, you know, because they was traumatized too. They just didn't understand it. So generationally, they were passing on trauma and didn't know it until a later part in their life when they did realize it and said, oh, okay, well, I tried to do the best I could. Well, mom and dad, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. Okay, fine, I got that. Now, let's fast forward 25 years, ask that same child, how'd you react in those same circumstances? Oh, I kind of see now. Oh, I kind of see now. And that's getting back to a premise I have. Is life lessons are not transferable. The same lessons that grandma learned, great-grandma, and her mother learned, her father learned, and their parents learned, are the same lessons that our grandchildren are going to have to learn. Okay? Same lessons. Every generation have to learn the same lessons. And it's, you know, we want to be different. Like the thing that my father told me that would support and empower me. Mother support and empower me. I listened, but maybe I listened maybe 30 or 40%. And then I did 25%. And Dad said, oh, I tried to tell you so and so and so. But what he didn't what he didn't say in his heart is that my father tried to tell me too. But I didn't want to listen either, you know. So it gets passed on. So every generation got to learn the same lessons. Drugs, sex, alcohol, gambling, you know, human relationships, all the same, all the same. You know, all the same. Whatever timeline or whatever historical demographic you want to go to, you'll find those same aspects that humanity has to face. So having said all I said, I hope I made some sense in it, I think we're just people just trying to be better people. And, you know, we have to forgive mama or daddy or grandpa or uncle and then say, well, you know, I may not understood you, but I know in some aspect you love me. And you just trying to do the best you could, but you were traumatized and didn't know it. You know? I know you love me, so. And then maybe people might get some peace. But to get back to the original question, right now, the peace that people are seeking is the peace of a oneness of spirit, oneness of heart. In other words, since we're all connected energetically as heart people, we're seeking that on a certain kind of level. You know, that's when we walk into a room full of strangers and we meet new people. And we say, oh, that's great. We got the same thing in common. But 20 minutes prior to that, they had no idea of who each other were until they opened up their hearts and saw that they were both empathetic, in other words, heart people, just alike. They just hadn't met each other. So I think we attract that. We attract who we are before we even get to a place. And who you are gets to a place before you get there. So if it doesn't sound like a bunch of gobbledygook, I think we as a people, if we just focus on wellness, I'll come back to that, because we've got to get well to heal. And as we get well and heal, we can pass that healing on to the younger generation, and they can get better. And they can talk, and they can get better, and they can share the information. Like sometimes Tony might say this, and he didn't prompt me to say it, but he offers certain stratagems to conquer certain environments that may or may not happen. But it gives you the tools to affect that if they do. Now, question and point. If I'm talking about a hunger famine season coming up next year, 2 years, and I'm an urban person, and I don't know nothing about farming. I'm not, maybe my ancestors come off a farm, maybe they know how to do that. I don't. If you ask me where milk comes from, I say the refrigerator. If you say where food comes from, I'm saying the grocery store. But if something happens, those opportunities aren't going to be there for you. So what are you going to do? You're going to revert to what you know, your knowledge base. If you don't have a knowledge base, you're going to starve. You're going to die. You're going to get real frantic. And so there are those who are attempting to show you and teach you methodologies of how to survive in the coming future. Now, whether they look like or as exasperated or as extreme as what you might hear on YouTube or any other digital formats, that's one thing. It may or may not happen like that. But if we had traumas and dramas that happened, something crazy that knocked everything out, all the food sources out, or your ability to get food sources for 1 week, how long would you be able to eat with what you got in your refrigerator with no electricity? What would you eat? After a few days, your neighbors are going to start knocking at the door. After the third or fourth day, they're going to stop knocking. They're going to kick the door down. So all I'm trying to say to you is this. There are tools being offered to you, and I say younger people, there are tools being offered to you for you to learn and utilize, and once you utilize, you can share that. You can share that. If you learn how to make up your herbs and make up your medicines and whatever yourself, then that means if you have a child or a young person around you or a relative in the house, you can show them how to do that. And they can show another person how to do that. So that grows exponentially, So that's what that looked like. So if anything else, don't be selfish about what you might be able to do for yourself to share with somebody else. Don't be selfish with your skills and your knowledge base, because this is having this environment years ago, even in my life, would have made things a lot smoother in my personal relationships, my physical health, okay? Issues like that. So, and it's like once you know, you know. So once somebody teach you, it's that old adage, if you want to feed a person, you can feed a person. You can cook him some fish or whatever. But if you want him to live for life, or take care of it for life, you teach him how to fish. So Tony and the medicine is trying to teach you how to fish. Dr. Blair, he laid the groundwork to get to where we are right now. He laid the foundation, the groundwork to get where we are right now. That was his job. Now, Tony is following up on finishing up this aspect of groundwork, where it's going to take you to get to another plateau. There may be another after Tony that will lay the groundwork for you to accomplish and succeed and survive any other calamities. But you got to be open to it. You got to look at a picture like this old guy or this guy in front of you talking now, saying, he may be talking crazy and he may talk too much sometimes and laughs a little bit too much sometimes and silly sometimes. But one thing I want you to know is that you have to learn how to do for self. You know, ain't nobody coming to save you. Okay?